Fluid coding and AI here. OpenAI has announced GPT-5.6 Sol, Terra, and Luna, and the first developer question is simple. Can you actually use them today, or is this mostly a preview signal? The short answer is limited preview now, useful planning details now, broad access still coming soon. The date anchor matters. OpenAI published its GPT-5.6 Sol preview on June 26, 2026. That post says GPT-5.6 is available through the API and Codex during preview, but only for a select group of trusted partners and organizations. OpenAI also says broader availability for ChatGPT, Codex, and API is coming soon, or in the coming weeks. So if you hear launched and your brain translates that into drop the model ID into production, slow down. The official public model docs still do not present Sol, Terra, and Luna as normal catalog models. The new family has 3 names. Sol is the flagship. Terra is the balanced, everyday work model. Luna is the faster and more affordable option. OpenAI is also changing the naming logic. GPT 5.6 is the generation. Sol, Terra, and Luna are durable capability tiers that can evolve on their own cadence. That is useful if it sticks. Developers can reason about the tier, not just the version number. Sol for the hardest reasoning, Terra for the middle of the workload, Luna for volume and speed. The pricing is unusually concrete for something most developers cannot access yet. Per 1 million tokens, Sol is $5 input and $30 output. Terra is $2.50 input and $15 output. Luna is $1 input and $6 output. That is a clear ladder. Sol costs 5 times Luna on input, and output follows the same high-end premium. But real cost will still depend on reasoning effort, output length, tool calls, cache behavior, and whatever ultra mode actually does in your account. Here is where my expectation changed. The most immediately actionable part of this announcement is not the shiny model name. It is caching. GPT 5.6 introduces explicit cache breakpoints and a 30-minute minimum cache life. Cache writes are billed at 1.25 times the uncached input rate. Cache reads still get the 90% cached input discount. That sounds boring until you run expensive agent workflows. Stable system prompts, repo maps, tool schemas, and policy context can become part of your cost architecture instead of just a giant prefix you keep paying for. Reasoning controls are the other major developer signal. OpenAI says GPT 5.6 introduces a new max reasoning effort for Sol. It also introduces Ultra Mode, described as going beyond a single agent by using subagents to accelerate complex work. That is interesting, but the careful version is important. The launch post describes the concept. The public docs retrieved for this research did not provide normal public implementation details for GPT 5.6 model IDs, exact parameters, or broad access. So treat Max and Ultra as product direction, not copy-paste API instructions yet. OpenAI makes big capability claims, and the wording should stay precise. For coding, it says GPT 5.6 Sol sets a new state-of-the-art on Terminal Bench 2.1, which tests command line workflows that need planning, iteration, and tool coordination. For biology, OpenAI says Sol improves on GeneBench version 1 over GPT 5.5 while using fewer tokens. For cyber, it says Sol is competitive with Mythos preview on Exploit Bench using about 1/3 of the output tokens, and that Sol, Terra, and Luna improve on Exploit Gym as reasoning increases. These are official claims, not independent replication. The system card is where the cyber story gets more concrete. OpenAI says all 3 GPT 5.6 models exceed its preparedness high threshold on internal capture, the flag tasks. The chart reports Sol at 96.67% pass at 1, Terra at 91.84%, GPT 5.06%, and Luna at 88.06%, and Luna at 85.19%. On CVE Bench and Exploit Bench, the GPT 5.6 models also look stronger in OpenAI's charts, but many values are chart reads, not clean tables. That distinction matters. The safety section is not a footnote, it is part of the product. OpenAI classifies GPT 5.6, Sol, Terra, and Luna as high capability in cyber and biological or chemical risk under its preparedness framework. It says they are below high in AI self-improvement. It also says Sol did not cross the cyber-critical threshold. In tested browser-related evaluations, it found bugs and exploitation primitives, but did not autonomously produce a functional full-chain exploit under the tested conditions. So the message is not unlimited cyber supertool, it is stronger capability, with stricter rollout. For developers, safeguards become product behavior. OpenAI describes model-level refusal training, real-time cyber and biology misuse classifiers, account-level review, differentiated access, monitoring, enforcement, and continued red teaming. It also says automated red teaming for universal jailbreaks used more than 700,000 A100 equivalent GPU hours, with third-party human expert red teaming continuing during preview. That means legitimate defensive security or biology work may face extra friction. False pause generation, review, and added latency are not. There is also a speed story. OpenAI says GPT 5.6 Sol will launch on Cerebras at up to 750 tokens per second in July, initially limited to select customers while capacity expands. That could matter for agent loops, code review, long reasoning, and interactive tools where waiting on tokens is the whole user experience. But up to and select customers are doing real work here. Do not assume that speed is the default path for normal API traffic. So what should you actually do while broad availability is still coming soon? First, hide model IDs behind config. If your app has GPT 5.5 or GPT 5.4 class routing hard-coded everywhere, fix that before the next migration panic. Second, build a small eval suite around your real workflows. Include correctness, refusal behavior, latency, tool call reliability, and cost. Third, start measuring cache hit rates. GPT 5.6's explicit cache breakpoints make stable context structure more important, especially for agents that keep reusing the same repo map or policy prefix. This is not glamorous work, conveniently production engineering. My practical read is this: GPT 5.6 looks important, but the responsible developer move is preparation, not migration. The confirmed facts are the preview date, the 3-tier family, the preview-only API and Codex access for selected partners, pricing, cache mechanics, reasoning direction, Cerebras target, and the phased safety posture. The benchmark claims are interesting, especially in coding, biology, and cyber, but they are mostly OpenAI run or OpenAI reported right now, so plan for the shape of GPT 5.6. Do not promise your users access, latency, or behavior that the public. If this helped you separate GPT 5.6 facts from launch post fog, like the video and subscribe to Fluid Coding and AI. I will keep tracking the public docs as Sol, Terra, and Luna move from limited preview toward real developer availability.